Geez, here we are.
Good afternoon. I'd like to call to order the Town of Riverhead Industrial Development Agency Board meeting on December 2nd, 2024 at 5:02 p.m. And I would like to note that not only do we have a quorum tonight, but we have a full board here. And in that context, before I ask you, Jim, to come up and swear in Barbara, I would just like to say a kind farewell to Anthony Barisi, who served this board for, I'd say, a good 7 years, joined in 2017, and we certainly enjoyed his comradeship and his insight into the matters we were dealing with over the last years. And with that, I'd like to now welcome our new board member, Barbara Rizzi, a former CPA and now financial consultant for family-owned business practices. And if you could come forward, Jim, and swear Barbara in, that would be great.
Sure. My pleasure. I'll come right up to you, Barbara. Okay. You raise your right hand. I, Barbara Rizzi,
I, Barbara Rizzi,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United
the
States,
Constitution of the State of New York,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of member of the Riverhead Industrial Development Agency
of the authorized member of the Riverhead Industrial Development Agency
and member of the Riverhead IDA,
and member of the Riverhead IDA
Economic Job Development Corps,
Economic Job Development Corps,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I just need you to sign right here. Yeah, thank you. And then right here. That's the official one. Yep. You did forever.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, and thank you for your commitment.
Thank
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you. It's an honor.
And with that, I'd like to ask the board to consider the proposed agenda. Has the board had a chance to review the agenda? All right. I'd like a motion to accept the agenda. Second, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Agenda adopted. And consideration of our minutes of our October 7th, 2024 meeting, Resolution 3124. Have you had an opportunity to read the minutes, and will you have to provide me with a motion to approve the resolution?
I'll make the motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Correspondence?
Yeah, we just received a number of foils over the course of the last month. 4 from Riverhead Local, 2 from Newsday, and 1 from Ron Hariri, basically looking for information on the G2D project, our sales tax information, and information on Joe Petroselli.
Oh, okay. Fine, thanks very much. Today we have no presentations per se. The treasurer's report, Lee?
As of the November 30th, 2024, in our M&T checking account was the sum of $24,831.17. In our Hanover Bank investment account, the balance was $428,167.58. A wire transfer was made on November 4th in the amount of $20,000, and interest earned for the month was $1,378 at an APY of 3.88%. In our project deposit account, that earned interest in the amount of $2.61 for the month, and there was a bank charge of $22. The month-end balance was $31,827.76. Revenues for the month included the interest earnings of $1,304.15, and the expenses for the month of November totaled $22,629.09.
Okay, thank you, Lee. And with that, would you have a motion to accept the report?
I'll move.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you very much. Committee reports tonight. We do not have any committee reports from Audit, Governance, or Finance. That brings us to old business, and I would like to reorder the agenda a little bit here, if I may. And I would like to move item B, which is the consideration regarding the Island Water Park application. And I'd like to move that to the Executive Director's report along with the 205 Osborne matter. That's okay with the board. And with that, then, I'd like to just move through a couple of resolutions, both old and new. The first one is a authorization actually, it was my attendance at the LIBDC conference, and I think that resolution also includes a proposal to join that organization. Is that correct, Tracy?
That's correct.
And I'd like a motion to approve that resolution.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Next item is a resolution to amend the RD America pilot that we recently approved. It's a pretty straightforward matter. Tracy, do you have any comments on that?
On RD America, no.
Yes. Okay, fine.
Or
So,
it was basically a delayed start, so we pushed the pilot year off. We amended it to use more accurate tax rates because of that.
Okay.
And
motion to approve?
I'll move.
Have a second? Favor?
who
Yeah,
moved, Lee?
yes.
Thank you. Turning to new business in effect, resolution 36-24 to designate new auditors. I have to say EFPR group. I'm not sure I know what EFPR stands for. Tracy, can you tell me what that was?
No.
Okay, there we go. But in any event, I believe there's still an outstanding engagement letter to be agreed, but this is our resolution to accept them as auditors in general terms.
So it's
Motion to approve?
I'll move.
Okay, second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
just a comment. I just wanted the rest of the board to know that I changed and made a slight amendment since the first draft that you received in the packet, and it was because we received and I'd forwarded the proposal to you, which Jim executed, and they are then going to send us engagement letters to execute. So the amendment was to say that we are ratifying the approval of the proposal, and it authorizes Jim to execute the letters of engagement when they come in.
When they come in. Okay.
May I have
I'll move.
move,
Yeah.
second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you very much. And finally, a consideration to post and publish our meetings for the next year, 37-24. May I have a motion to approve that?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, with that now, we can turn to the Executive Director's Report. And Tracy, shall we start with 205 Osborne?
Sure.
Okay.
So it was the intent to get an amended application for them since there have been changes, obviously, with that project. We met with council and the investors back in October, sort of hashed out a plan, at which time we expressed the need for an amended application. By November 15th, I followed up with mail correspondence reiterating the same, and as well as suggesting their attendance to this meeting to give us an update on the status of the project. And the agency did receive an amended app on the 26th, but I did not have time to review it, nor put a resolution up to accept it today for further review. So hopefully we'll get some more information tonight from the investors and council, and and find out where the status of the project.
Okay. You want to,
So tonight we have Peter Curry, who is their IDA applicant counsel, and Paul O'Brien, who is the investors and the project applicant counsel.
okay.
And I'm really here to, Peter Curry, Farrell Fritz, PC, 400 RXR Plaza, Uniondale, New York. I'm really here to answer questions on the IDA issues that may come up. I'd really like to, at this point, to introduce Paul O'Brien, who is general counsel for the applicant, who can introduce the people on the phone or on the Zoom call, and can give you an update as to the project.
Okay.
Paul?
Good evening, everyone. Paul O'Brien, O'Brien PLLC. As Tracy and Peter advised, I am general counsel to the project entity and its investors, John Pacey and Jerry Wood. With us by Zoom from New York City is John Pacey. I know Mr. Wood was trying to join the Zoom from Florida. I think he was having some technical difficulties and was trying to get back in. And also here is our general contractor who we anticipate will carry the project forward, Ken McAvoy. Happy to provide an update, answer any specific questions the board may have. As Tracy advised, we were working on an amended application, and hopefully, as the board understands, given the circumstances, that there were really two key items that the investors sought to address in the aftermath of taking control of both the 331 East Main Street project and 205 Osborne project from G2D. The first was 331 East Main Street, in that there was a stabilized, thriving, completed project at that location, and our first concern upon taking control was ensuring the comfort of the residents at 331 East Main Street and the continued success of that project, compliance with all of its objectives and obligations. And in the limited time we have had control and have been in the process of gaining additional information from the financial institutions, insurance companies, other vendors, stakeholders, things of that nature, I believe we have achieved a level of stability and will have continuing stability in that project, and that it will meet all of its obligations to the IDA, the community of Riverhead, and equally as important, all of the residents of that community. As to 205 Osborne, we've moved into assessing the status of the project, the work that was performed, the draws that were taken from Dime Bank, which is the financial institution that is financing the construction, and trying to better ascertain or understand what occurred with those monies to result in the mechanics liens that we've all noticed against the property, deal with those contractors to determine what work was legitimately performed, should be paid for, and what work was either not performed, improperly requisitioned for, or in some cases, it seems, was drawn by G2D for the purposes of paying contractors who had interests in other projects with G2D where the funds had stalled. We're unpacking the facts of what occurred and trying to communicate them to Tracy and now this board in real time as we learn them. And what we're hesitant to do is put anything out there in either the public record or an application, which might be inaccurate or require further amendment at a later date. But to that end, there is a time component for us to gather information which was at the repository of G2D, obtain it from a number of third-party sources, many of which were initially reluctant to disclose certain information given the circumstances surrounding G2D's exit from the project and the fact that in many instances their contracts or obligations were to G2D, not the property entity or the project owners and investors itself. I believe what we've evidenced and shown so far in terms of the investors who remain committed to bringing this project to fruition and meeting all the obligations to both the IDA and the community is that they're ready, willing, and able to do just that. One of the reasons we're here is to address the time component in that we do need time to get this project back on track, but in terms of the capabilities to do so, I'm certain that my clients have it that they're in the business of dealing openly and straightforwardly with this board, with the community, and all others who have a stake in seeing 205 Osborne become another successful project with the Riverhead IDA. At this point, if there are any specific questions, I'm happy to address them, or if they're better addressed to Mr. Curry. Either of us are here for the board's inquiry and to provide any other information you may need this evening.
I have a couple of questions, and while I'm certainly encouraged because we would like to see that project be completed properly and become what was expected of it from the get-go, the three questions I have really are the experience in building a project of the investors who are taking over the project, what you anticipate the funding requirements will be, and whether or not they will be properly funded to complete the project, and the experience of the contractor who you have, or who the investors have retained to complete the project and building a project such as 205. So if you want to break those apart, obviously.
So, Mr. Mendelson, the investors have experience with several other successful projects, both with this IDA at 331 East Main Street and other IDAs throughout Nassau and Suffolk counties. They also have the capital and experience in working with financial institutions to ensure that all needs of the project will be met, and met as closely to or on budget as possible, given the financial impropriety that occurred prior to them taking control. As to the contractor we sought to bring on, Mr. McAvoy, he's here tonight because he too is fully committed to this project. As I understand it, Mr. McAvoy's company had worked in connection with the 331 East Main Street building for parts of that project to bring those to completion, and has been in business for decades building throughout Long Island, with current projects in West Hampton, with completed projects in the town of Huntington, which had IDA components or IDA pilot programs associated with them. That it is an experienced and nimble team that's able to adapt quicker to the situation we have here than any other group of contractors or investors might be able to, given, again, the circumstances that they've inherited.
While I appreciate you addressing those matters in broad strokes, I haven't seen the application, obviously, as resubmitted, but you can be sure we're going to be taking a close look at those issues and other ones. Specifically with MAC, I looked over MAC's website, and I saw, with respect to 331, a number of pictures of the interiors of 331, as if somebody who was looking at that website would be led to believe that they were responsible for building those interiors. And I don't have any knowledge that they were involved in anything other than some outside work on 331. That concerned me. I haven't had a chance to investigate the other projects on the website, which also show both interior and exterior pictures of that. But I want to be sure that Mac's experience, as you've mentioned, involves not just working on a facade or on an exterior of a project, but those interiors as well, because we want the inside of those buildings to look appropriate for people who may end up renting them.
Absolutely. And to that end, with our amended application, we can certainly submit additional credentials, proof of scope of prior projects, and a list of trades that we anticipate either retaining from the original application for certain interior work or work to be completed, together with information on any trades that we may need to pivot to or bring in for certain specialty items that need to be completed in order to finalize 205 Osborne according to the specifications that this board approved.
I would be interested in seeing what Mac's scope on that project is actually in terms of what they'll be performing and what will be subbed out to subcontractors and who those subcontractors might be. As I know you're aware, each subcontractor must be duly licensed in the town as well as properly insured.
Absolutely.
Any other questions? Laura?
I've had a lot of questions from the community about what's happening currently with the building. If you could talk a little bit about, I know that there has been some work done to secure the perimeter of the property. Can you talk to us a little bit about what was done and what the immediate next steps are for that?
Certainly. So when we came into control of the project, I believe the exterior was in not disarray, but had been not attended to for some period of time by, I'm not certain it was completely fenced, and the sidewalks and other public walkways abutting the property were not, maintained to the level and standard that my clients would allow a project that they're in control of to be maintained. So the initial phases of what has occurred at the project since we took control are that the exterior was cleaned, any hazards removed, and really a lot of what's taken place to date is an inspection of the existing work. I believe that documentation from the engineer and the architect was submitted to the Riverhead Building Department to confirm that as a result of the passage of time, none of what was built on site had been compromised from a structural or integral perspective, and that there is an ability to proceed with the remainder of the work without certain remediation or other steps being taken to ensure that what has been built to date is as it should be. I believe all of that came back with, a good report, because luckily it was over, the spring, summer, or fall months as opposed to the winter months where the exterior of the building would be, exposed to the elements and things of that nature. So my understanding is that at this point, the immediate next steps would be sheetrocking, things of that nature in the interior of the building, some additional prep to the exterior to either prepare it for the winter months and harsher weather and ensure that the work performed to date, I believe blue skin coating, things of that nature, is not deteriorating, and that the project will be prepared for both the additional exterior work to achieve the look and facade that was approved by the board, as well as complete as much of the interior as expeditiously as possible to adhere to a new approved schedule for the completion of the project. As to Mr. Mendelson's point, there will be a number of trades involved with the interior, whether it's HVAC, electrical, plumbing, etc. And all of those will have the proper certifications, licenses, and insurance that are required both by the building department and by the IDA. Again, all to ensure that everything is done in accordance with the scope and to the spec that was approved. The architect of record is remaining the same and is involved in continuing to further the project.
So with the new time frame, when do you anticipate completion of the project and the availability of occupancy?
I believe the goal is now to have completion by June of 2025 and shoot for occupancy shortly after that, provided obviously the certificate of occupancy issues, all inspections are completed, things of that nature. There would be no reason why pre-leasing couldn't commence in the spring of 2025 and look to occupancy in the late summer of 2025 or something to that effect.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Doug?
I'm good.
So then, where do you stand with the town right now?
Building permits have issued for some work to continue. There are some limitations there as to all of the trades that come in presenting exactly what Mr. Mendelson alluded to, the appropriate licenses, insurance, et cetera. To that end, some of the general contracting work is continuing to sheetrock the interior as approved by the building department and ready it for the trades so that we can proceed as expeditiously as those matters come together.
Was there anything else, Tracy?
Just a couple questions. Ken is available if you wanted a verbal introduction to his company. We can wait for written. I did have a question regarding 331.
Yes.
Could you please explain the ARC management? I know you worked to get that together, but we need to have information on the new management team.
Absolutely. So,
'Cause
yeah,
The agency did not require an amended app since the project had been completed, but we do have on record, G2D is the management, and we need to amend that internally and ensure that does continue as a stabilized apartment complex, meeting the compliance and requirements of the agency as well.
absolutely. So, ARC Asset Management has come on as a property manager for 331 East Main Street. Company itself is somewhat new, but it does have a number of related entities that have dealt in real estate for decades, from apartments throughout New York, Florida, New Jersey, to millions of feet of warehouse space in New Jersey, Florida, and California. One of the managers has operated in that space for more than 30 years, and several of the part owners and employees or members of the company are former G2D employees who have familiarity with the building, its residents, in leasing, in property management, and to that end provide somewhat familiar presence for residents who went through a period of some tumult where there was no one at G2D to answer the phone at property management or to respond to a work request or anything of that nature. ARC uses a platform called Doorloop for lease maintenance, tenant requests relative to the general areas of the building, payment and collection of rent, things of that nature. I believe every tenant in 331 East Main Street is signed up for that platform for both the remittance of their rent, the service of their units, and for answering any questions, concerns, or inquiries they have, ranging from the status of the building and what all is occurring to, that they need a light bulb changed or, something attended to in their unit. Thus far, I think it's fair to say that the response from the tenants has been quite positive, especially considering, how everything came together in terms of a transition of management companies, which was not supported in any way, shape, or form by the prior management company.
And
You could certainly, Tracy, to your point, provide a little more written background information on ARC Asset Management, its related and predecessor entities and their experience, but I'm certain they can meet the qualifications expected by this board in terms of the maintenance of the standard at 331 East Main Street that's expected.
in addition, there was a requirement to have retail space below, and I don't know when you can work on that. I don't know how it's legally entangled, given the G2D situation, but that is one of the requirements of the project.
And there is a retail tenant at current. Their lease was a sublease with a G2D WorkSmart entity, I believe, as the prime tenant. They did have an opt-out in their lease for March of 2024 and are looking to exercise that opt-out, and we are already beginning the process, or they are already beginning the process of marketing that space for a replacement tenant suitable for the retail in that building.
How many square feet was that? Do you recall?
I want to say it was only about 800.
It's not particularly large. I don't recall off the top of my head, but it's not.
And it's dry space.
Yeah. Okay.
And then some of the things, I understand the lag in getting the application to us, but there are some items that can be done as we wait for others. In particular, some signatures on the application so that I can do potential background checks, or I can do some research. So even if we get some piecemeal, expediting that application on 205 is very important.
Absolutely. We'll keep the flow of information. One of the things that was important for us was ensuring that all the information we present to the board is as complete and accurate as we could possibly make it. And, in turn, dealing with some third parties to obtain that information as opposed to dealing directly with our predecessor has slowed the process, but as we receive the information, you will receive it.
Okay. Because if I'm not mistaken, one element of the agreement we have was a December 31 completion date for that
Correct, I believe that was.
building. And of course, as you know, our incentive is, of course, somewhat premised on the fact that that area, the TOD area, is an area of critical redevelopment for the town, and we're hoping to see a nice apartment house appear there soon.
As are we.
So, okay. Any further questions or observations from the board? Tracy, anything else?
I'm good.
Okay. Well, then I guess we'll leave it there for tonight. And if you could coordinate with Tracy regarding the agency's requirements for the final application, or renewal, if you will, we could get there.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for your time.
All right.
Given their completion date is December 31st, as you said, an application signed, whether in part or whole, within 2 weeks
Sir?
would help us continue processing
Great.
the project.
Thank you, Tracy.
Okay, thank you.
And as IDA counsel, we do understand that until the consent is granted, until the application is accepted after December 31st, they cannot use any sales tax abatements until the agency issues its extension.
We
Okay.
need to get stuff done before the 31st.
Okay,
Yeah.
We'd be happy to work with the agency to get it extended before December 31st.
okay.
Okay.
Great. Well, that's it for now on 205 Osborne. We can turn to Island Water Park.
Again, thanks for having
Yeah, thanks a lot very
Yep,
much.
thank you.
Okay.
I don't see the gentleman here.
No, he stepped out in the hall, I think.
Oh, Ken?
Oh.
Counselor? So Chairman, if I may, you did have on your agenda this evening a resolution to accept the application, an amended application for Island Water Park, to accept it for further review. However, I did not find the application as of this afternoon. We did receive a lot this afternoon, but I didn't find it in complete enough and satisfactory enough condition to have the board accept it, even though we're going to review more. There was one item particularly of importance that needed to be submitted prior to your accepting it. So I did request them to come in and explain where they are and provide an update on why we're waiting so long for this application.
Okay. Great, good evening.
Good evening. Allison LaPointe from the law firm Sir Tillman Ballin, Adler Hyman, offices at 100 Motor Parkway, Hoppa, New York. On behalf of the applicant, I thank you for your patience in me getting here a little late and for making some rearrangements on your calendar to accommodate. We are here today to discuss the application which is now deemed incomplete, which we, in speaking with Tracy, is totally understandable. We last met on August 5th when I appeared before this board and discussed our path forward. We know there were some communications with staff in September. The client then used October to put together what has been the documents as they have been submitted, which is around 100 pages of documents on November 1st. Since that time, as I understand it, that we have received 2 rounds of comments. And Tracy, if my submission date is incorrect, please correct me on that one, as I am once again pinch hitting on this file, and I want to make sure the record is complete and accurate. So there were 2 correspondence for incomplete with additional comments requested. One was received on Friday, the 22nd, which was then requested that we have a turnaround date to be able to make this meeting date of the following Tuesday. The team pulled together out of the 21 comments, around 18 of them, a number of them which were somewhat misunderstood by the applicant. The main one to which Tracy was alluding was the budget. They pulled together over the weekend a pro forma budget when what was really being looked for was an original budget with a side-by-side of what's happening moving forward. In terms of being able to turn that around over a weekend to be able to make this timeline, I think it really just comes down to the application is not quite ready for prime time. That said, the applicant is continuing to pull these things together and is looking forward to being able to update this application package to make sure everything that the board needs to be able to consider it and accept it as complete for further consideration is present. As we know, for this particular application, we're not talking about, you know, a personal service in a smaller space. It is a very complicated business model. It will just take a little bit of time to pull those things together. But again, we're working on those items, and we do believe out of the 21 items on the Friday, November 22nd comment list, I believe the only, we're missing 4 items. So hopefully we'll be able to pull that together quickly to the satisfaction of this body and to staff, and we'll be able to move on from there.
Okay. Any particular observations, Tracy?
No, that's pretty accurate.
Okay.
But the crunch in the end of the timeline was because we started this in August. So she is correct. Really, the main thing outstanding is an updated budget. The board has liberty to accept the application as is if you like for further review at this point. Or we can wait for another meeting.
We have no problem with waiting until we have I think, at least my preference, we'll leave your preference to yours, is to make sure that what you're accepting is the application that will be considered moving forward. So I think if,
Okay.
respectfully requesting maybe we table this, so that way we can go through each of our points, work more, again, closely with Tracy to make sure that what is submitted is exactly what you're looking for.
Any comments from the board? Questions?
No, I'll wait till we get the
Okay.
information.
I think do we need to have?
Motion to table that resolution.
Okay, could I have a motion to table this resolution then?
Make that motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, motion tabled. Look
Much
forward to
appreciated.
getting the remaining information and getting it all buttoned down. That would be great.
Certainly, much appreciated. Have a great
We
evening.
can do that within 2 weeks so that during the January meeting, we're all buttoned up. And that gives me time, given the holiday, to review.
Yes,
Okay, great.
certainly.
Okay, great. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And with that, referring back to my agenda, I think it's time to ask for a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I'll make the motion.
May I have a second, please? All in favor?
Or who-
Aye.
Who seconded?
I did.
Okay.
And with that, we will now turn to, I will call to order a meeting of the Riverhead IDA Economic Job Development Corporation on December 2nd, 2024 at 5:40 p.m. And I'd like to note that we have a quorum and we have a full board, along with our new board member, Barbara Rizzi. And once again, many thanks to Anthony Barisi for all his time and effort put into this board in the past. Now I'd like to ask the board to adopt the proposed agenda. Could I have a motion?
Go ahead.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. Could a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you. No correspondence to deal with. All right. Could we have a motion to approve the minutes of our meeting on October 7th, 2024, Resolution 19-24?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much. Treasurer's report. Take it away, Lee.
The treasurer's report, as of November 30th, the balance in the LDC bank account was $367.27. Activity for the month included bank charges in the amount of $68, and a refund request was sent for that $68.
Which bank is this that's charging us $68?
I mean, it's all different, it's the type of accounts we have and the entities,
Okay,
and they're all different.
all right. Thank you, Lee.
And their nominal balance we're carrying.
And may I have a motion to accept the resolution which would accept this report?
I'll move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Committee reports this month, audit, governance, finance, none. Thank you very much. Old business, none. Thank you very much. New business, we have two resolutions. One is the ratification of, designation of our new auditors, Resolution 21-24. May I have a motion?
Same changes on this one as well.
Okay, I'll move.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. And the second, a motion to approve the resolution for posting and publishing our meeting dates for 2025. Motion, please.
I'll move.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And may I have a motion to adjourn this meeting, please?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you very much. And with that...